Welcome everybody. My name is Daniel Maldonado. I am a Salesforce administrator here for the Orlando Dream Center. I just want to make this quick video to talk about super badges and the importance of learning Salesforce and applying what you learn by acquiring some super badges. I've been using Salesforce for the past 3 months as an admin, and I've been using it as part of my job, my regular job, for over 8 years with the Salesforce Classic. But Lightning and Salesforce is now what a lot of new companies are using and getting into. Us as a nonprofit here at the Orlando Dream Center, we've been looking for a system that we can use to manage our volunteers, to manage our donors, to create objects that we can track the things that we're doing. We have a diaper bank, we have a food pantry, and we have many other activities and events that we do. So we started using Salesforce a couple months back with the nonprofit service success pack, the salesforce.org nonprofit success pack. It's been pretty amazing. We've been connecting with a lot of people in the industry, a lot of people right here locally in Orlando. They're using Salesforce for their business, and a lot of nonprofits are getting into it. And I bet there's a lot of them that are looking to better use their Salesforce to track and use it on a daily basis. So here I just want to go over super badge that I'm working on right now. It's the Lightning Experience Specialist. So already got the first one, the Lightning Experience Customization. The next one they want you to take is the Lightning Flow, and then the Lightning App Builder, and the reporting and dashboards experience. So Lightning is kind of like the new thing that Salesforce has been working on these past couple years. They're moving to a more dynamic 360 degree view of your clients, the people that you're working with, the accounts, and it's mobile friendly. So it'll work on mobile devices, tablets, computers, pretty much the same way. Alright, so on the Lightning Flow, let's just go over this really quick. So it looks like Lightning is a way to automate processes. So you for example, we do a diaper drive, and we do diaper distributions once a month. So we've been looking into Salesforce to see how we can better our process. Right now we do everything on paper. Sometimes the numbers are not up to date when they ask me, hey, what's the amount of diaper size 5 that you have available, and since I gotta go look through the list, so it's really inefficient. But using Salesforce, it's allow us to work on certain components, and I believe that Lightning Flow will allow us to really put everything together and just have everything transparent. We can just train our volunteers to use the mobile app. We can train our staff members to create reports and all that. So it's really amazing. We just getting started, so I'm not really an expert in this per se, but like they say, if you teach, then you learn more, because you have to like learn it and teach it. So I'm a student, and hopefully I won't confuse you. But I've been doing the Trailhead here for a couple months. Already earned around 36 badges. So I'm looking to get my certification here pretty soon for administrator. I've been with the Orlando Dream Center for 5 years. I'm pretty much the tech guy, so we have set up emails. We've been the nonprofit service that Google offers. We've been using Google Apps, or G Suites they call it now, for a few years now, with the emails and the Google Drive and building folders and sharing and all that. And Salesforce is really something that kind of ties everything together. We've been adding all of the accounts, all the different organizations we work with, identifying the key people for each company who we need to contact, who we need to send emails to. And we slowly been able to understand how to use Salesforce and to apply it to our to the business, to the type of organization that we have. So it's a process, and we're learning as we go. So right now, let's just jump in it really quick here. So there are 5 units in this Lightning Flow. Automate process for every app experience, and portal with declarative tools. And then they're going to be talking about choose the right automation tool, automate simple business processes with Process Builder, guide users through your business processes with Cloud Flow Designer, combine the power of Process Builder with Cloud Flow Designer, customize how records get approved with approvals. Okay. So let's hop into this first one. Choose your right automation tool. By the way, if you're in the Orlando area, there's a really awesome group. They get together on Saturdays. I believe it's once a month. Look them up at Meetup. I think they're called Orlando Salesforce Saturdays. So really awesome people there. I joined the meeting yesterday. We got to meet a lot of really cool people that have been using Salesforce, and they're willing to help. If you have any questions, if you're new to it, they're all levels there. So check them out at Meetup. They have a new class going on next month. They're going to be talking about nonprofits. So there's a lot of nonprofits out there that are looking to get better information, keep their constituents and their volunteers and everybody up to date. So Salesforce is a great option for them. And Salesforce is currently offering free licenses for nonprofits with 501c3, and you can get up to 10 licenses. So that means you can get 10 staff members to be able to input and use Salesforce in your organization. Okay, so it's a really great way to get started with Salesforce. Trailheads is free. Anybody can log in there and they can start using it, learning how to use Salesforce, start studying to get certified. There's many job opportunities for people looking to gain better income, so Salesforce is really amazing. So I really highly recommend it. All right, so let's jump into this. So this first unit is talking about choose the right automation tool. And as you know, there are 2 versions. This gives you a warning or just attention that there's 2 different desktop interfaces. So Salesforce Classic, that's what a lot of companies that have been using it for a couple years now, they're probably using Salesforce Classic. Like my job, they're still on Salesforce Classic. It's really like, it's really powerful. You can do a lot of stuff, customization, but that's basically just the classic view of Salesforce. And then they have the Lightning experience, which looks a little bit more prettier, and it's a little bit more, responsive. So if you use it on mobile devices and tablets, it's gonna look much nicer, and that's what you're gonna get on your mobile phone when you download the app. So that's the Lightning experience. Okay, and you can switch over. So this course is for Lightning. Okay, so that's the new process here. Our objectives for this learning, we're going to be able to list the tools in the Lightning Flow, describe the tools available for automating guided visual experience, describe and compare the tools available for behind the scenes automation, describes the tools available for approval automation. People expect automation, right? Nowadays, everything's automated. You call, everything's like automated. Choose one for this. So you can do the same thing in your organization. When you create processes, everything's like, okay, you need this, this, and this. After you complete this, then you get to the next step. So that's what automation is about in Salesforce. So it's gonna allow your people that are working to give you a complete product when they complete that process. Okay. So no matter whether you're buying movie tickets, paying bills, or changing restaurant reservations, if a customer is interactive with a company, they expect a seamless, personalized experience. For example, when a customer needs to replace her credit card, the average service agent needs to know a bunch of things. Is it damaged, lost, or stolen? If it's stolen, she's worried about recent transactions. Where should we send the new card? As you all know, credit cards. By the way, you're not liable if anybody steals your credit card. They can take care of that. So call them right away, and they're gonna go through that automation. So automation used to be really hard because you had to go and program each little piece of everything. So Salesforce allows you to have the client's contact information, so that ties into every little thing that you do. So you always can bring in that contact to whatever you're doing. Okay. So it says, providing a seamless automated customer experience has historically been challenging, time-consuming, and code-heavy. Depending on the precise nature of your business process, you may need to integrate various systems, configure the process logic, build a modern, rich screen to provide a pleasant user experience, make the experience available from anywhere, desktop, mobile devices, internal apps, and external portals. Meet Lightning Flow. Lightning Flow provides declarative process automation for every Salesforce app, experience, and portal. Included in the Lightning Flow are 2 point-and-click automation tools. So there's 2 point-click automation tools. Okay, so the first one is Process Builder. So they're going to be talking about that in the next unit, which lets you build processes. So the Process Builder lets you build processes, and then Cloud Flow Designer, which lets you build flows. So the designer is like the graphical way of like dragging and drop stuff. So Process Builder, okay? To sum up the difference, Lightning Flow is the name of the product. Process Builder and Cloud Flow Designer are the names of the tools. So these are tools. Use Process Builder to make the process. So this is to make the process. And use Cloud Flow Designer to make the flows. Okay, so that's how they're gonna flow. Later we'll talk about each tool, but now here's a sneak peek of what it is. All right. So see that the Process Builders is the whole thing, right? And then see there's the flow, so you can see how it flows. Oh, actually, this is the builder, okay? And then that's how it flows. So this is like more detail. All right, let's see. With these two tools, Lightning Flow makes it easier for you to do the following. Okay, so Lightning Flow functionality use case: create a guided tutorial or wizard with screens. Okay. Flow Designer includes several out-of-box screen fields like text boxes, radio buttons, and a file upload component. If you need more than what's offered, Lightning components to your screens. Declarative configure logic and actions for your business. The process with either Process Builder, set up automatic tasks. Okay, so you probably want to read this when you go through it so you can understand it better. But it lets you create a guided tutorial screens, set up automatic tasks and processes, connect with external systems. It says communicate with changes between your Salesforce org and your external system with platform events. Oh, look at that, platform events. Process Builder and Cloudflow Designer lets you respond to and send platform event messages. In addition, Cloudflow Designer can retrieve data from third-party systems with external services. So last month they had this CompTIA convention in Washington DC, right? And they had the free stream. Anybody can join that free stream to check it out and earn credits to continue your C+, A+ certification, Net+, Security+. They were talking about a lot of this stuff right here with there's like they were talking about smart buildings, right? How smart buildings have a lot of security and safety systems, right? And like for example, when you open a door, there's a magnetic strip that allows people to come in and out when using a secured badge. And they were talking about how that is kind of like its own system, right? And then they had like the smoke, carbon dioxide sensors all over the building, and like fire extinguisher systems. So all these systems, they live in this building, right? But they don't talk to each other well. You know, there are certain things that you can kind of like have them communicate to each other. But yeah, a process builder in that sense, you know, they were talking about how just allowing messages to flow between systems is probably what you want that to happen in order to determine certain things, right? So that's kind of like when you're dealing with external systems. You know, Salesforce is a really powerful tool. It does a lot of things, but it doesn't do it all, right? So there's other software that is designed specifically that you might be already using with your organization, with your company, and you can still incorporate that into Salesforce by setting up these external platform events, okay? So you can kind of like using APIs and different programming tools, you can have those messages flow and get notified. So the important thing is you get notified when something goes wrong, so you can go to the right system and take a look at it and fix it, right? And in real time. You don't want to wait a day or two, because then that could be catastrophic depending what you're dealing with. So that's where that comes into play. So it's really important to understand that and know that you can have things from the outside come into Salesforce, and from Salesforce go out to those other systems also in forms of messages, notifications, and even designing processes that can actually create cases or leads or whatever needs to happen, okay? So that's all part of that automation, right? So add automation to pages and apps. Make sure your behind the scenes process starts with the right things when the right things happen, whether that's when records change or when users click a particular button. Once you build guided visual experience, add them to Lightning Pages, community pages, the utility bar, and Lightning apps, and more. So one of the things that we're working on is we want to create a community page that people can go in there, and if they have any questions, you know, there's a Q&A, there's frequently asked questions. They can kind of like look it up for themselves, or if they're requesting a specific thing, they can kind of fill up a form, and things will start to, you know, they'll get the ball rolling from that point, you know. And that's another way they can reach us. You know, people, when we do diaper distributions and things like that, they'll fill up a form and then we contact them. So it's kind of like manual, but with Salesforce, we want to automate a lot of those processes. That way, when we're distributing, we have everybody notified. They already know they're getting emails and text messages. You know, this week we're gonna have this. Make sure you come and get your stuff. You know, so we want to have everybody in the loop, and you know, we can use Salesforce to do a lot of those things. Okay, and then it says reuse what you build. So Salesforce, you can build components, and you can use components. In Cloudflow and Designer, any flow can be used as a subflow. So they call it subflow. In the process builder, create an invocable process to reuse that processes logic, or action in other business processes. Okay, so it's kind of like you can do like an approval process, and okay, so this manager from this department needs to approve this for this to happen, something like that you can reuse in different cases. Which automation tool is right for me for my use case? Everybody has a different way of using Salesforce. Like we were talking yesterday, like you might learn Salesforce from company A, but if you go to company A, department B, they might be using it a different way. So there's different ways of using Salesforce that will work for your organization. That's why it's important to know how it works. That way you can apply it to the specific needs of your clients or company. When it's all said and done, a process-driven experience isn't backed by only one process. It's a combination of all business processes in your organization that can impact your customer. Each business process typically falls into one of these camps. Guided visual experience. Business processes that need input from user, whether they're employees or customers. Cloudflow Designer. Okay, so when it's guided, complete this wizard to get this benefit. The user's gonna input their numbers and we're gonna give them a product, right? And we can use the Cloudflow Designer for that. Behind the scenes automation. Behind business process that get all the necessary data from your Salesforce org or connected system. In other words, user isn't input isn't needed. Process builder, Cloudflow Designer, Apex. So you can use all these when you already have all that information. You just, okay, I need to create something, application to get this. I don't know. Automation, approval automation, business process that determine how record like time off request gets approved by the right stakeholder approvals. So you request weekend off, you are approved or denied, whatever they feel like. What's the coverage? All right, so processes to flows to Apex. Apex is kind of like the programming in Salesforce. It's really cool. You want to look into those trailheads for that if you're interested in that. One of the hardest things for admin or developers to figure out is when to use what tool for the job at hand. In general, the best to start with declarative, no code tools, and work your way up to code solutions. Okay, so Salesforce has a lot built into it. Don't start just creating all these custom objects at the beginning. See what you got already, and you can add a checkbox, a field, something, and that will probably allow you to work on that without having to create a brand new object, because you can end up with hundreds of objects and then everything's segmented too much. So they were talking about that yesterday in our meeting. It's really hard to report when you have so many different segmentations of your data. So try to keep it all contacts, all the pre-built stuff. Keep adding to that, and when that does, when you need a more coded solution, then that's when you start using custom code and all that. Okay. So but you can always reuse what's already in there. So process builders. Use process builders when you need to start behind the scenes business process automatically. Process can start when a record is created, a record is updated, a platform event occurs. Okay, so let's see, somebody was a lead, we converted to an account, the record is created, we send them all the initial paperwork, all the welcoming stuff, so that all happens automatically. Okay, something like that. Cloudflow Designer. Use Cloudflow Designer to automate a guided visual experience. Add more functionality for behind-the-scenes process that is available in the Process Builder. Build the more complex functionality in the Cloudflow. Designers can then call the resulting flow from the process. Start a behind-the-scenes business process when a user clicks something like a button. Okay? For example, when an opportunity is won, your company wants a renewal opportunity to be created automatically. As you see later in this module, you can build parts of that use case as a process, but the rest has to be built in a flow. Apex. Okay, so Apex. Use Apex when you need more functionality than is available in Process Builder or Cloudflow Designer. Build the more complex functionality as invocable Apex methods. Then call the resulting Apex as Apex action in the process or as an Apex element in the flow. Now let's see these principles in practice with a few sample scenarios. Alright, so we got a whole bunch of scenarios now, so let's read a couple of these. Guide a community member through request a new credit card with step-by-step wizard. So let's sample a credit card, just call them. But designer flow. So you can build a flow for that to request. In our case, probably request diapers. Okay. How many children you have under the age of 3? 1. What's the diaper size? What's the date of birth? Are they allergic? Okay, so you can create like a flow for that. Sales rep clicks on a button of an opportunity and launches a discount calculator. There you go. There's a discount. So you can do that with the designer flow. Okay, here's a process. When an account is updated, update all context related to that account. Okay, so sometimes there's businesses, they move, maybe update their addresses and shipping address and mailing address. Okay, when opportunity stage is updated, update custom checkbox fields, create a task when platform event occurs, update a lead record in Salesforce after a certain amount of time passes or when a specified time is reached. Like follow-up emails, things like that. When an opportunity closes, automatically create a renewal opportunity. Route an employee's time off request to a manager's approval. So that's talking about the approvals. All right. Wait, what's an approval process? Surprise, we snuck another tool in here. Approval isn't included in Lightning Flow, but it's a declarative way to automate something that Lightning Flow doesn't cover. That say, Lightning Flow does support automating how a record gets submitted for approval. You'll see on approval later in this module. What about workflow rules? If you're not already using workflow, we strongly advise against starting. All new functionality for behind-the-scenes automation will come via Lightning Flow. So workflow rules, that's probably something in Salesforce Classic. So they're going away from this. Okay, so if you don't even know what that is, don't worry about it. Lightning flows. So a lot of companies, like we're talking with he works with Hilton Vacation. They're transferring all their departments, but they're not doing the Salesforce Classic. They're going straight to Lightning. That way people don't have to deal with that. There were some departments that were using Classic, and it was really rough to convert it to Lightning. But once everybody starts with that, then that's kind of like the new code that Salesforce is going all their development going towards. So you want to go all the way to that. It's like, you know, Windows Vista and Windows 8, you know. So Windows Vista, you came from XP to Vista. I was like, oh man. So you want to jump all the way to Windows 10 now. You don't want to start with Vista again. So it's kind of like something like that. Okay. All right, so there's some resources. Okay. Which tools are included with the Lightning Flow products? I'll give you a second. What do you think? We're talking about, there were 2 tools, right? So this is what it's called, right? Well, not even, but I think this is it. Process Builder and Cloud Flow Designer, okay? Flow and the Builder. And the Lightning, see, because approvals is not part of the Lightning, okay? Which declarative tool will you use for the following use case? I guided customer through the process of troubleshooting issues with your product. So we talk about that was like a wizard, right? So Apex is the programming, approvals is like approval from the manager. Process Builder is like internal in the back end, but the Cloud Flow Designer is the wizard that the user can do, right? Which declarative tools would you use for the following use case? When an opportunity discount is higher than 40%. Notify CEO via email requesting a sign-off. Provide a way for CEO to leave comments. Okay. So this is like automatically in the background. User guide. Programming, so approval. Let's see, approval. Which declarative tool would you use for the following use case? When an annual revenue exceeds 500,000 on an account, automatically update the customer priority field to high. Okay, so that sounds like you could do it with this, but that would be so super complicated, right? You don't have to do that if you already have another way of doing it easily. There's no approval for anything. So there's no user input because their revenue just exceeded that automatically, you know. So it looks like it's a process because it's something that happens in the background, okay? So let's see for 100 points. All right, so we got that 100 points. All right, so that's basically our module for today. Keep looking into Salesforce. I like to continue doing classes like this. It helps me, it helps you, helps everybody. You know, so let's educate ourselves. You know, let's help people that are wanting to get better careers. You know, encourage them to learn programming. Encourage them to keep learning whatever it is that they're passionate about, and let's get started. No. So thank you everybody for checking this this class out today. My name is Daniel, and see you later.